No, none yet. It's not out for delivery yet anyway, so. No. No, it's meant to come by the end of today, but it's still not out for delivery yet. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. See you. Bye. All right. Yeah. I've got left-hand side, Verts, and Camrobber again. Points dropped already, feels like it's most must-win for both teams. And what I've got is a cap, giving me 70. Anything else? Hang on a sec.
Still the most famous. Tony's a famous.
Let's forget that after someone actually put up a cartoon, you know, like almost like a Beano kind of strip. You know, they're basically charting Anne's life from birth to school to university graduation to first day broadcasting to big children. It's like wow.
Dave Squires, yeah, because it's black and white.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Who did that? That was it. Who did that?
know who did it. These
Yeah,
two
we
don't
don't-
make.
yeah.
I don't know. I just saw this
It's
guy.
really
outside,
it's very
guy
little
was like,
it's very
It's
Was
very
it?
good, that's all.
Okay.
It was nearly me.
That's a spoiler in itself.
Yeah.
Sure it wasn't you waving it.
No.
every time you how do you say something out there, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Not recently.
Trying to cut that.
In fact, it was perfect
Yeah.
as well. It just makes it a bit more iconic.
See, I didn't realise this at the time, but found out that
You come in different colours.
the person who did it was giving a running commentary of what they were going to do that day
Oh, right.
on Twitter. Yeah, I've bought it now. I'll show you the photos and go to finish that.
Do you know what the word for that? No, when you go through the gates, I don't know if it's still there now. Sorry, just before you get to the gates, it used to be a barrier,
Yeah,
a fence that was sort of waist height,
yeah,
and he was this side of the fence.
Yeah.
The camera was obviously this side.
yeah.
The security was on this side,
Yeah.
even though all the people were on the other
So,
side. So even when he came, if the fence wasn't there, security could have just grabbed him, walking up, or could have grabbed him
Yeah.
off straight away before it even got close. But there was that moment where you could see what was happening, but it's the wrong side of the fence, and there's absolutely nothing he can do about it until he's got on the other side of the fence. But they're quite big plants normally as well, aren't they? So jumping the fence wasn't really an option. So you had to like toddle round all the way around to come round, and about the time you've done that around enough, which all you have is 5 seconds.
It's funny actually. The amount of times you get asked about that, and you know, I wasn't even there. But,
You should introduce like professional, like I say, could have easily.
that thing, it could be anything, could be some much.
But around that time as well, it was getting a bit
Yeah.
quite a lot of press on it. You went to Stoke, it was like being surrounded by the
I think it was the same night the car.
Just end your day today.
The car had real problems with Crystal Palace. I think it was that same night.
was catering, Kate Wright. She had 2 months.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, yeah. I think she went down with Luke Cummins and stuff as well. And that was really bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you not go inside the stadium? Well, they never would have thought of that.
We were doing lives outside the game, literally heading down the field. Which is pretty good. Someone's going to shout something out. Trent and Jeff and all that. We had no security.
They don't pay for special.
So trying to get boxes, we have to try and drag people. We've got a live point, trying to hide a little bit like that container. So everyone's trying to do boxes, trying to drag people to the point rather than being able to be mobile because we have no security to look after the kit.
In the world now where everything's checked and counter-checked, like big conferences.
It's when he goes to put his phone in the
Oh yeah.
it wasn't accepted.
Yeah, but something.
It's not, it's a golf. Could be Birmingham, could be Wolves.
Certainly going for a certain profile.
Bang average. Wow.
Ooh, that's worth it.
Oh, get in there. Excuse me, car and Formula One team.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A Red Bull as well, I think.
The money's going in F1.
England cricket team.
It wasn't credit why.
It's still Rangers. They were Rangers at one point, and it's just the way. When did Rangers and Celtic have the same sponsor because they didn't alienate half the city?
Cause.
Is it Seahawks Smith or something?
Yeah, I remember it being a beer.
Yeah, there was a beer.
The bats were
No, Tennants.
tenants.
Yeah.
First open at St
Yeah, it was
Andrews.
tenants all through to 20.
First open at St Andrews 2005. I went 4 days after for a run on the course on a Tuesday because my boy's trying to practice and it's outside.
Yeah.
I'll run. And there's very nice walk on carry about 10 minutes. So it's like 6 in the morning. He's starting on that now. Yeah. What the one you can
I remember Mike England years ago, he looked at the park. I'll probably have to tell you about this later.
Good morning.
I am, thank you. You?
Yeah, really good ones. Arne, obviously, in terms of the title race, we can build it up, and it feels like it's a must-win for both sides because of the difference in games lost that you've lost, that City have lost compared to Arsenal. How do you see it?
I only focus on ourselves, and our main focus is on consistency at the moment. So, as you probably know, as an Everton fan, you know that we've lost we've lost a few games, much more than we usually do. So, and now we've won 2. So our focus is on getting consistent and improving, getting players fit, and then we will see where that will lead to. But at this moment of time, it's definitely not the only focus we have is the league table.
What start then does that performance against Real Madrid give you in terms of the level of performance that you reached that night?
For me, but again, I say mainly the same. We've reached that level of performance in other games as well when the playing style of the opponent was compared to that. But we always knew that we were able to do so. I've showed them many times when playing styles were similar that we could do the same as we did against Madrid. But so it wasn't a surprise to me how both games went. It was helpful for us that the other team did what we expected them to do, because in 8 out of the 10 games I think we've played this season, we faced a different playing style than all the games these teams played before. But Villa and Madrid did what we could expect, and I think that's always helpful. Then there's still a lot of work to be done by the players to get a performance like that, but it is helpful. Where I think we can expect from City the playing style we always see, but the difficult thing in that is that they are very good in it and have very good players. So that makes that challenge big again. But as I said, every Premier League game, every Champions League game is a challenge.
I'll just ask about your left-hand side as well, because obviously Florian put in a really good performance the other night. Is that the way forward for him, playing from the left now rather than the 10? And just checking on Andy Robertson, is he able to go again after starting the last 2 games in a week as well?
He started 3 games in 7 days because he also played the game against Crystal Palace, where I also played a few starters, not many. I had to take him off in the end of the game. For me, it felt because I felt he was tired, but we have to wait and see. We had recovery the day after. We were a day off yesterday, and now 2-day lead into City. So let's see where he is today. And Florian can play on more than only one position, so he can play off the left, which he did almost all the time in Leverkusen when Xabi Alonso came and introduced this 3-4-3 system, or the way you want to call that system. And before that, he mainly played as a 10 in a 4-3-3. So I think it's more about getting him in the positions where he's good at. Then we should be so focused on, is he a 10, is he an 11, or is he a 8? I think we would like to have him in and around the 18-yard box centrally, or a bit more of the left or a bit more of the right, for him to create the amount of chances he's already created for us.
Just check, Isak okay to be involved? Or?
He will train for the first time today with the team again, so after being 3 weeks out. So I know that I said 3 weeks ago his pre-season has ended, so now it's time for us to see where he is. But I have to come back to those words, because if you're 3 weeks only with the rehab, that doesn't bring you back to the levels he was 3 weeks ago. Although our rehab team is doing an incredible job, but you cannot compare rehab with games of football or training sessions with the team. As much as we try to replicate it, that's simply not possible. So again, I have to say, give him some time.
Thank you. Arne, when you said before about finding consistency with the team, I mean, how much of a boost would it be for everyone in terms of having faith that your troubles are behind you if you can go to Manchester City and get a result to build on what you did against Real Madrid and Aston Villa this week?
Yeah, to make that a little bit more clear, we were actually very consistent. But the thing is, we were consistent in losing. So that wasn't the idea about being consistent. Consistent doing the things right, which we have to do, and improving in that way. So yeah, City is of course a game on itself. You could say playing there away from home is probably one of the most difficult challenges you have throughout the season. Although I constantly keep on saying how difficult it is to play Brentford away or Palace away. Every away game is difficult, every home game as well, but an away game even more. And that's, I think, what City have felt this season, because they've lost, I think, 2 away games. We've lost away games. The only exception to that is Arsenal, who maybe lost 1 away game against us, but they've been the exception this season, where the rest have probably done similar things. And so yeah, very interesting game to look forward to, because when I wasn't working here and when I was in Holland, I didn't know when City Liverpool was or what Liverpool City was, and I could tell you I was 100% sure in front of my television when this game was there. Similar to Classico, by the way. But these are the few games everyone is looking forward to. And if you're not part of it, you're looking forward to it as well.
You think it'll be worth watching again?
I think it's always worth watching, because so many great individuals are playing that game. And yeah, these teams 9 out of 10 times give you what you expect. For me, with Pep, that's 10 out of 10, and people should give their opinion about me. But what I liked about Pep Guardiola's teams is that you 10 out of 10 times get what you were hoping for. A great game of football with no time wasting and no all kind of things that I start to dislike more and more and more about football. But these are not the things you can see if you're watching a Man City game.
Arne, 2 fantastic performances and 2 great results in the last week. What do you think has enabled the team to rediscover its functionality in midfield? Because Gravenberg and Szoboszlai, McAllister now as well, all playing their parts individually, but collectively they look like the unit they were last season. Teams are finding it more difficult to get beyond them, and creatively they're doing the business as well.
Yeah, I don't know if the focus should be that much about these 3 midfielders. It is true that I couldn't have played them many times together yet, for obvious reasons, injuries mainly. Not only on the midfield, sometimes on our position. That's why I needed Dominic in different positions. And it helps if the team plays more and more together. That's one thing. And it helps. I can come up with all kind of arguments what has helped to lead up to this performance, but that's kind of boring in my opinion, because people might then say, oh, now he's using the wins for the excuses for his losses. But yeah, it has been 2 good games, although again, in my opinion, I think I'm the only one who thinks this. I liked our performance against United more than against Villa. But the result, I liked against Villa much more. And what I mean with that is, from open play, we created much more chances against United than we did against Villa.
Conceded more though.
Yeah, because we were 1-0 down and 2-1 down, so we had to be taking more risks. And but we didn't concede a lot against United, I can tell you. And we were lucky against Villa that they're one of the best goalkeepers in the world made a mistake that he hardly ever makes. And we had a deflection where the amount of chances we had against United were much more. But again, if you win a game, everything is, wow, what a game. You look at this, look at that. And if you lose a game, there's a lot of focus on the things you have to improve. And that's why I try to balance that out a little bit more inside this building.
How much more do you think there is to come from Dominic Szoboszlai, because his performances in the 2 games I've just mentioned, Villa and Real Madrid in particular, were of such a high standard in all aspects of the game, almost. And against Real Madrid, probably a performance I think Steven Gerrard would have been proud of.
That's probably the best compliment he can get. I think he's been outstanding throughout the whole season. But these 2 games brought even more out of the team and out of him, for me, for obvious reasons. But it's maybe smarter not to say those reasons, because I don't want to say the same things over and over again. And you probably know what I mean without me saying it. Do you? You have no clue what I'm talking about? I think Dominic has a lot of qualities, but one of them is also his work without the ball. And his work without the ball was, I like his work without the ball every single game, and in the last 2 games that was probably even above his own standards.
Can I just ask you about, go back to Andy Robertson? He maybe could have left in the summer. He's come in and done a job for you. It's shown the importance of having someone like him in the squad. He's 32 next year and he's out of contract at the end of the season, but has he shown that he can still operate at the very highest level over the last 2 performances?
It's been a while before I heard the word contract, but there it is again. He's done really well in the last 3 games, because he played 3 games in 7 days. Although I took him off against Palace after 60-65 minutes. So I was very pleased to see that he was able to play almost 90 in his last game, because it's hard for players to play 3 games in 7 days. 8 days or 9 days is already a big difference compared to 7 days. But he's done well, as the team did, and I think the best way, or not the best way, but it's so helpful for every individual if the team plays at his best. And that's, I think, what we did in the last 2 games. And he's been calm on the ball and done his job defensively. So yeah, happy with his 2, maybe 3 performances, although Palace 3-0 loss wasn't the best game of the season for us.
There was always this perception that once players get past 30, you sort of see a bit of a decline, and it's always referred to Mo in that respect, that he doesn't really show that himself at that level. But is Robbo a similar sort of type of player? He's keeping going, even if say he's over 30.
Yeah, no. Over 30 doesn't tell me anything. If I look at Virgil, Mo, and Robbo, who was last season also above 40, and all 3 of them were able to win the Premier League, and all 3 of them played a big part in it. So, if a 24-year-old doesn't play as well, nobody talks about his age. And if a 32, 33, 34-year-old have 1 or 2 bad games, people start talking about age. That is how things work in this industry. But I think 32. I wouldn't say that that is old for a football player, in my opinion.
Hi Arne, you spoke earlier about Dominic Szoboszlai and his work off the ball. I think in the last couple of games we've seen a great desire from Mo Salah to do that as well. I think if you look at his ground duels are up, his ball recoveries are up, and even if you look at his heat map, he spent a little bit more time in his own half against teams who maybe were looking to double up on Conor Bradley. Is this a basis of a conversation you've had, or has he kind of taken it upon himself, do you think?
I like what you are saying, because I've noticed this as well, and this is something what helped the team a lot, because the main focus is always on players that score a lot of goals, is always on goal scoring. But it's not for the first time. I think after the last time we played City in our away game, I think even Pep Guardiola said something about that. So yeah. It's very important for us to have Mo scoring goals, but it's also very important for us to have Mo like he played against City last season, where he also scored a goal and assisted, and helped the team out a lot in his defensive work, and that's what he also did, like you said, in recent games.
Hi, Arne. Can I just ask on Alisson and Jeremy from one, how's their recovery coming? Are you expecting them back after the international break?
Alisson for sure, and I expect Jeremy back after the international break as well, because we play from November till March. So, but I don't expect Jeremy to be fully fit for Forest. But with Alisson, we expect this. Yeah.
The last one.
Oh, sorry. No, there is a difference. The difference is that in the Premier League, much more is allowed than in Europe. But that has nothing to do with us scoring goals in Europe and not in the Premier League, by the way. But if you ask me, is there a difference? Yeah, there's a difference. I think the physicality in the Premier League is different. You see bigger players, older players. You can see this during the game, but also in the set pieces. There's no other league in the world where there's so much emphasis on set pieces, I think. So every throw in, every ball, 50, 60, 70 yards away from the opposite goal is brought in. And then if you ask me what is the difference for us, for me it's been being unlucky in the Premier League and maybe being a bit more lucky in the Champions League, because I can show you the same chances that we've created in the Premier League that we then just missed, where this led to goals in the Champions League. But I don't know if you say this, but I can say this: if we would have had the same set piece balance in the Premier League as we had in the Champions League, we wouldn't have been 7 points behind Arsenal at the moment. So yeah, conceding 5 and not scoring 1, unless you want to see the one from Dominic Szoboszlai, which is a set piece, but for me it's more throw-ins, corner kicks. If we go back to what we can expect, how we perform, that will always definitely help us in winning more games in the Premier League as well. You're welcome.